So I wanted to show everybody how I do a deflasking of Paphiopedilums. And these are from Woodstream Orchids. This is Paphiopedilum times Tiger Girl. It's a really pretty red. And they get quite large blooms for the size of the plant. Now these have been deflasked by Dr. Goldner at Woodstream Orchids, and you can see the size of the plants. They're not all consistent. You get some of them that are quite large and some of them that are smaller, but you can see that the root system on these, they've really got a nice plump look to the roots, and they get that little, tarantula arms with all the little fur and hairs that come off of them. When they're this small, you don't actually have to divide them in the pot. It can break the roots. They can, when they're that small, they really are quite fragile, so it's better to keep them together. I have 4.5 inch azalea pots. So azalea pots are not as tall as they are wide, and for a root system like this, it's really fine. It's just like an azalea. They're going to really grow as far as roots about right here. By the time you get them to where they can go into individual pots, they'll be down at the bottom, and then you'll be ready to put them into 2.5 inch pots. It'll take quite a while. I mean, they'll be fine in a compot. This is a community pot, so the short name of it is compot. They'll be quite fine for this for about 6 months. Alright, so the mix is Orchid bark, the precision or fine Orchid bark, and it's quite small, with a little bit of river sand, and this is fine petals sphagnum moss. I really just want these guys to be pretty much in the center, so that when I water them, the water can go on the outside and it won't actually get too much on the leaves. And then I will fill it in as much as I can, giving it a tap every once in a while to settle that material into all the nooks and crevices that it can fit into. And then if you've got a little painter's brush, you can sprinkle in. And this Orchid, when it's the precision size, it's teeny tiny stuff, so you can fill it in pretty easily just from the top, and then knock in the sides. That's a very healthy sized plant right there. So these are gorgeous, and the only thing is to make a sign or two. I actually do 2 signs for these pots, and just let them sit in a humidity dome for about 6 months or so. Watch them, and what they'll get today is a very light fertilizer, maybe 150 parts per million for the fertilizer, and a bit of Inocucor, which is the kind of probiotics for a plant. And you can actually spray the Inocucor on the plants every single day. Just make sure that there's a fan blowing that stuff off. And a little bit of Superthrive or a KelpMax type of product where they'll get that boost so they can adapt from being in a flask to being in about 70% humidity. And the humidity domes are not quite 100%, but they're pretty good for that. You can also use a Ziploc bag, something like that, that will help you keep up the humidity. It's pretty easy. You just watch them, you know, every day to see what they're doing. Most of the time they'll tell you pretty quickly if it's not conditions that they like, and you can adapt it with different watering regimens. You can adapt it with different types of bark size. You might want to go to a meatier bark, and these are actually pretty good. These are obviously they've been in there for a while. They actually are about 18 months old by the time you get them out of a flask, so they're not babies, and these are the guys who are thriving. So you can see what they'll look like in about 3 years. Thanks for watching.